Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. What I lack in vocal prowess, I am making up for it with the bell of purpose. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. It's a special week here in the Bathrobe Moments world. Why? Because it just is. The number one reason it's special is the reason it's special every day, Monday through Friday, because where you and I come together, it's a sacred space. It's that place where that promise guarantees us that when there is two or more of us in the same place at the same time with the same mindset, we are going to create guaranteed what I refer to as spiritual magic. And we're here today to do just that. This week is the very first full week series that I've ever done in all of the 6 years that Bathrobe Moments has been on the air. And I'm so excited, so honored and privileged to be able to bring this great opportunity right to you, because together we can make great things happen. Great things happen. Can I get an amen? Yes, we can. It is the power of we. It is not the power of me. Good morning, beautiful people. Where are you watching from today? I want you to drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're at. That's the bell of purpose. Real quick, I just want to let you know, every time you hear the bell ring, it's a reminder. It's an opportunity. It's a chance to remind each other that when there is truth out there, we need to make sure we pay attention to it. So just like that bell has a ring, so does the truth. So when you hear it, that's why it's being rang, to get your attention, to remind you, back the car up. There's something in the middle of the road I'm sure you want to take home with you today. So here we are today on day 2 of our entire week-long process, where we are, let me pull it up and show you. We're working with, I guess you could say, bringing attention to, bringing resources to, helping One Vision, One Heart, the nonprofit out of the Seattle area. I'm coming from this side today. No, I like this side better. We're helping this wonderful organization and all of their partners to bring this vision to fruition. We're manifesting as a team, as a group, as a family. As you see here, actions really do speak louder than words. And we are fundraising this week, y'all. We're not piddling it. We're not trying to get $100. We're not trying to hit $500. We are claiming it. We're going to raise $10,000 is our goal for a week from yesterday. So we got all the way through the week, the weekend. By Monday morning, when the bell opens the show, I want to claim it now that we together will have raised $10,000 to get over and be a part of what One Heart, One Vision is doing over in South Africa coming up. But today we're going to bring in some people, Dewey and Rain. They have worked with One Heart for years and years now. We're going to let them tell you about that. They're actually on the ground in the Philippines, but they've also worked with Apostle Steve Segram, who you met yesterday, the founder, brainchild of this wonderful organization, with all the graphics. So they help put the story together. The graphic I just popped up, this one, that's their work. And so I can't wait to get them in here to talk about the reflections back on what they've worked with, what it's like where they actually live in the Philippines, how it's changed for them since they were a part of this worthy, here it is, One Vision, One Heart, when they were in the Philippines, on and on and on. So I'm not going to take up any more time. Before I bring in our guest, you know I got to do it. I'm under contract with her. Here's my sidekick. She's been here all 6 years. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Give her a round of applause, won't you, please? And right now, we're going to bring in our guests. We're bringing them all in at once. Here they come down the spiral staircase. You can't see them, but I can. Here they come. Dewey, Rain, and Apostle Steve Seagram. You guys put some hearts on the screen. It's our way of virtually applauding. Here they come. Well, okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, blessed and highly favored, just like me.
Blessed and highly favored. Dewey, I'm assuming you're Dewey, even though Rain's okay. Rain, hi Rain, wave to us. Good morning, you guys. You're in the Philippines. Can you? It sounds like we can barely hear
Yeah, the mic went down.
your mic. Yet kind of went down.
Hello,
Any
hello.
way to
Can you
bring
hear
that
us
up?
now?
Is that better, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes, that better.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, yeah. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
So, Dewey and Rain, welcome to the show. You're in the Philippines. It looks like it's dark.
Yeah,
What
it's
time is it
nighttime.
there?
It's 9 p.m. here.
What day
9
is
p.m.
it?
Tuesday.
Oh, so you're about to go to bed and wake up on Wednesday. We're just
Yeah.
waking up on
Who's
Tuesday.
waking up? Mhm.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. Apostle Steve, welcome back. You
Thank
guys,
you.
this is a fundraiser this week. You know I don't like to lose, and I don't lose. Whatever we get is a blessing and it is a win. Even if
Amen.
it's $1, a quarter, a prayer, or a fond thought, well wishes, you can still participate. So I want you to share this broadcast out right now. Let me find it. Where is it? Everybody, because it's not just about money, it's about getting information to each other, right? How do you think the Underground Railroad worked all those years and years ago? They got the message down the line that something wonderful was on the way. So, right now, share this out. Let people know there's something here you need to check out. Can I get an amen? So, Steve, take a moment and give us a little background. I'm going to dip out and let you all say hello to everybody and we'll get started.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lauren, for this opportunity. To really bring to the forefront some of the work we've been doing to bring change in the communities around the world. We have Dewey and Rain here with us. Dewey and I have known each other now for, I will say, over 5 years. He's actually our graphic designer. He's been part of everything that we've done graphically. Matter of fact, the image you see in the background, that was Dewey's work. Every flyer, our logos, he's the creator of it. We would talk. I would share, my vision of what the Lord put in my heart, and then He will transform it into actual visual. So we have that connection. When last year, when it was brought to my attention, some of the I would say problems and issues, and really some catastrophic situations there in their own town, where the pandemic affected a lot of the indigenous people who couldn't go in town and get food. I told them, no, we have to do something about it. What do I need to do? What do we need to do? And that's where everything started, because, he knew of the work we did in Pakistan, where, my heart is to reach out into the communities.
Okay.
And they, yeah.
Okay. So, thank you for that, Steve. Dewey, how are you again? You doing okay?
Yeah, doing great.
You're
Yeah.
not getting sleepy, are you?
No.
Okay. So, tell us, I'd like to hear from you two real quick on what's it like when you take all these photos, because I have a feeling you're not just looking at pictures. I have a feeling you're looking at stories, but more importantly, you're looking into the faces of people who are poverty stricken, who are underserviced, this, that, and the other. How does that affect how you work? People might think, oh, it's just a flyer. Is it ever just a flyer, or is it a lot more?
Yeah. Going from there is it's been like we were so blessed to be able to go into the communities where people from the city hardly even reach or communicate with, especially in Tiboli, right? Yeah, it was hard to get there. The journey was rough, but uh, it was fun to do. Yeah,
Okay, so now were you born and raised right where you're at, or how's that?
yeah. We were born and raised here in the city of General Santos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So going to the indigenous people, it's really something that uh, uh, the spiritual connection between the people there. And us and sharing with them the good news and also the blessing.
How far is it, Dewey and Rain, for you? You have a car?
Yeah, we rented
Yeah.
4 cars
Yes.
with the two dump trucks just to get there. So
Yeah.
the road there is very tiny. It's a one way road, and on the right side is a cliff.
It's a cliff.
Yeah,
You're at above
The,
the mountain.
and also, Lauren, they literally hike up mountains and down to the valley to
yeah,
get to
correct.
people.
To get to the people.
Yeah.
How far how long does it take to drive from where you live to where you start seeing uh the horrible poverty? How far away from your house is the horrible poverty? Is it right around the corner or is it a day's
Nah,
journey away?
it's about 4 to 5 hours drive, and from there we need to hike and deliver the goods.
The goods. So when
Yeah,
you
we
got
hike
there,
about uh,
So,
30 minutes or an hour hike.
okay, had you been there before?
no, never
No,
been.
it was
You
our
haven't.
first time. Yeah.
So what went through your mind? You live in the country. You've heard about the indigenous people. I'm sure you've seen some as you've grown up. But what was it like for you when you actually walked inside their world?
Um, they they were very welcoming, especially the indigenous people there. Yeah,
Well, I
it's
know they were, but
yeah.
what was it like for you to
To
look
see.
and
For, at first we were afraid because some of the areas there were
Isolated.
yeah, it's like a critical area. There's some rebels camp there. Yeah,
okay,
but yeah,
so
we're
it could be
thankful that the local government in that area gave us some assistance, like guards,
okay.
to get
So
there.
let's take a look, you guys. We're gonna show you. Um, I don't know if we'll watch the entire thing because we got a lot of ground to cover. But well, the first thing I want to do, let's take a look at the work that they did. Everyone did. Where is it? Which one is it? Let me see. That's called. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you the Philippine trip, and then we'll get started talking about it. Okay, I got so many things to pull up today, y'all. You know I'm not techie. Here we go. All righty then.
Heartbeats only happen one at a time, one at a time. You can't rush a moment, so don't even try, don't even try. There's a symphony you're missing. If you only listen, you'll find big magic in the.
My name is Alex po. I'm a volunteer for this organization. What I can say is that I'm very happy to be here, happy to spend my time here with helping repack goods for 500 families.
Happens in the small moments.
Hi, my name is Steve Segram, CEO and founder of One Vision, One Heart. This spiritual download came into my spirit in 2012. I wrote down the name. Actually, had not didn't do anything with it because I didn't have a clear direction. What was the concept? What did the Lord want me to do with One Vision, One Heart? Well, it became a reality in 2017. Exactly what we are to do, and that's transform communities around the world. Global transformation was the mission. Sharing love, the love of Christ, was the mission.
Okay. We watched the full thing yesterday. Dewey, what goes through your mind when you see that video? Do you feel you guys made a difference?
yeah, we all of the team were very happy that they also volunteered and helped us. All our friends and family were there.
Yes.
Yeah, the important thing is that we connected with the people in that area spiritually and bonded with them. It was a happy moment. Yeah.
So,
It was very
Steve,
And
go
good.
ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, Lauren, and what you saw that little clip, we fed over 800 families, 600 children in three different villages, and these were
Yeah, correct.
all the indigenous people, and in local
Wow.
communities in their area as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just incredible work. So now we're getting ready to, which is why we're here today, folks, and all day, every day this week, every month, what's left, Wednesday, Thursday, and this Friday. We're dedicating the entire week to helping One Vision, One Heart raise as much money as possible so that they can get over to South Africa next month, where 10,000 people have already signed up to get on the waiting list in hopes that just a little bit of what is going to be brought will end up in their possession. So we talked about that yesterday. We had Prophet Lovemore here. He's going to be back this week to talk more about the many, many people that are going to be waiting in line. Steve, what's that feel like? Are you nervous at all? I mean, talk about that stepping out in faith part. Because when you tell people, it's like telling a little kid you're going to take them to Disneyland next month. And then the day comes and you go, oh, about that. Sorry, not going to be able to go. And you see their faces, their hearts are broken. What,
Mhm.
how do you deal with 10,000 people that are waiting for you to come and bring them relief, inspiration, hope? How are you doing it?
For me, I just surrendered it. I follow the direction of divine. I know it needs to be done. Why do I say that? Because my heart's tug, my heart's connected to what's going on, and yeah, I'll be there in person, Lord willing. But it's that thought process. Wow, South Africa. I'll actually be in South Africa, be with the people, connect with the people, and be
Yeah,
a greater part of what's going on there on the grounds. It's exciting, but yet kind of scary, but
it
yet
is.
you know uh, anticipating.
Yes, 10,000 people. You guys, that's not just a number. If you want to get an idea just how big that number is, go to your savings account online right now and look at the number. Many of us don't have $10,000 in savings. Imagine if you could lay out 10,000 $1 bills. How much space would you need? Now imagine if it takes that much space to fill just 10,000 $1 bills to spread them out. Imagine what it's like when you have 10,000 people toe to toe waiting in the same line for resources that are only this big. Okay. So we need your help, is the point. Now, why is it so important? I don't want you to just hear what we say here today, but what also some of the world's leading authorities are having to say about this very thing. Here's what the World Food Program had to say just a couple weeks ago, August 12th, about the hunger crisis. Take a
You
look.
see the, joyous tone in the market, the upbeatness about inflation dialing back a bit. But in reality, things are incredibly painful if you're unable to afford your food right now.
Yeah, Caroline, we're clearly sounding the alarm bells at the World Food Program. We have about 345 million people today that are suffering from hunger, and that's up a double from 2019. And we're working in countries where you're seeing inflation rise by 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%. But it's also important to know that here in the United States, I think the average American spends about 10% of their wages on food. But in less developed countries, particularly countries that are very marginalized and have relatively low incomes, you're seeing that 50% of income typically goes to food.
There it is.
Mhm.
50% in a marginalized country, 50% of their income must go for food. Now, that's provided the food gets there. because when it gets there, there's only so much of it, and you got to have that that money. So, Dewey and Rain, since COVID, since the war began with Ukraine, how has the food prices where you live, and you live in a pretty decent city, right?
Hmm.
So
Yep.
have you felt the in the pocket? Has food costs gone up for you?
Yeah, it's basically the our food here is very hard to get. So we, luckily the government provided for us weekly. So even though we have a spare amount of money to spend, but we can't go
We
out.
can't go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we rely on the government to feed us
Now,
during the pandemic.
the people in the village that you had to hike to, did
Hmm.
the government give them the same as they gave you?
Yes,
Yeah, but
probably.
probably they still have some support from the government, but uh, not like close to our food supply here in the city. So they're probably rationing it
Yeah, the transportation is very hard.
because it's very hard to go to that place.
To get to that area?
Yeah.
Mm. So, Rain, you're a female, clearly a very pretty one, and women seem to have more empathy. I'm not saying that we guys don't, but women are mothers and wives, they're caretakers. Could you talk about what's it feel like when you see these mothers that don't have enough to eat? One of the things they say in that clip we just saw, because I watched the whole thing earlier, was that um, there's nothing worse than when a mother has to decide, okay, there's only this much food. Now, which children or which child gets to eat? How does that make you feel if you had children and you had to choose who got to eat? How does a person make that choice? And just speak to that for a second. I know it's a tough one.
Um, di lang nakabungod.
Oh, okay. Please say
Was
what
it
can
too
you say
deep?
about yeah.
What I can say, if I am a mother, I would love to feed them, everyone, the children that I've seen in the yeah, in the village. It is very, fulfilling to give them, a help. And it's very hard to see the children that they have nothing to eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's very hard the living there because it's in the middle of the mountain, and it's hard to travel to go to the city to buy some foods. And there I, the living there, it's very hard. They can only like
Uh,
number
the
ago.
the indigenous people
Yeah.
there, they're basically the way of living there is like making some barbecue sticks and selling it in the city. So they're
Very
they're
limited.
yeah, yeah, they're
What about
limited.
this? Okay, I'm sure when you got there, it was very exciting, and
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Yay!" And
Yeah,
but what about when it was time to leave,
yeah,
and
it
you
was hard.
knew you were
Yeah,
leaving
it was
them behind?
heartbreaking.
Yes.
You
Yeah, it
saw
was
their
really
face.
heartbreaking. Yeah, because we know that the supply we give them would only last like maybe like a week for the entire family to feed.
Yeah,
One
actually.
one bag of the one blue bag that we gave them, we know that they would actually last for a week. So it was heartbreaking to know that how about the following weeks,
But
how would they get their
Yeah,
the
food.
next, yeah, the next
the next week and the next week and the next
next
week.
day,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Just
it was very, yeah, it was very good to see those people that they were smiling in their, you can see smiling in their face, that even though it's just a one bag, but they really appreciate it. And it's you can see the tears in their eyes like that. And it's very heart for feeling. And I wish we could give more to those less fortunate people. But yeah, that's only that we can.
Yeah.
And
You know, I just wanted everybody to hear it from you guys because, you know, leaving people, I know that look when you leave kids and they wonder, will you ever come back? And then you have to worry about, you know, 2 weeks later, you go, I wonder what they're eating now. Every time you eat, I bet you there's a part of you that thinks about them. And so, you know, I want you guys to understand that so that you will feel the compassion that we should feel to help people who are willing to go there because we see the pictures, we see the video, but it's different when you're there with the actual children and you have to leave and they're looking at you like, what about me? We don't have to live with that look. The people that go and do this mission work, however, do. So that counts for a lot in my book. And that's why I say, you guys share this broadcast. Lori, Sherry McQueen, everybody that is under the sound of my voice, pass this forward, not just during the live show, all day, every day, not just this week, but next week and the week after and the week after. We must do better. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
We could.
Amen.
Here's a little clip from South Africa's president. He's talking in this clip about the looting, the rioting, and all the horrible things that were happening in South Africa just under a year ago. He makes some predictions about what it will be like today because of what they did a year ago. And boy, he was spot on. Let's take a look. I can get it in here. Where is it? Okay. Okay, here we go.
Over the past few days and nights, there have been acts of public violence of a kind rarely seen in the history of our democracy. Property has been vandalized and destroyed. Shops have been looted. Law-abiding citizens have been threatened and intimidated. Workers are scared that they may not be able to return to work. People have died. At this hour, there are several families in our country that are in deep mourning.
Current situation on the ground is under strong surveillance, and we will ensure that it does not deteriorate any further. We cannot allow anyone to make a mockery of our democratic state, and we have instructed the law enforcement agencies to double their efforts to stop the violence and to increase deployment on the ground.
All right. I think we all get the picture there. The reason I thought it was important to bring that up was, again, to help those of us who are on the sidelines understand a little bit more about what it's like for those of you who end up on the front lines. So, Steve, talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the indigenous people. It's not just the marginalized communities. You have to go through places like we just saw to get there. I heard in one of these clips that it's really not even the fact that there's not enough food. It's one of the biggest issues is getting the food to the people.
Exactly.
And that means a whole bunch of different things. Talk about that if you could, Steve.
Absolutely, and this is what brought on the whole South Africa. Prophet Lovemore, is in South Africa. He's our liaison there. He's also our director of One Vision, One Heart there. And when all this rioting started, you see what people you need to understand. There's a ripple effect, and who's affected? The ones at the end of that ripple, right? And that's the communities that normally goes out into the cities or in the towns to get the food. Well, now there is no food, and so it creates more problem. If you call just here with truckers and the strike and everything, well, that's the chain supply there. If the foods are not coming in, right, then where how are they going to get food? So it created a dilemma in a lot of these cities and a lot of these more smaller towns, like where Prophet Lovemore is in the surrounding area. So again, here again, we talked about this is the major problem. How do we solve this problem? What can we do to help the people in the local communities? And that's how all of this got started.
Absolutely. Uh, uh, Rain and Dewey, what about you guys? Um, when when you see things like this over in Africa, South Africa, all the desperate people do desperate things. Do Would you guys ever be open? Would you go on one of these missions? Would you leave and go with Steve, Apostle Steve, to South Africa if you could to help? Or does it look a little bit too scary?
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, actually, we just like to help people there. It breaks our heart to see the situation there in Africa. I
Why
know,
is
I
that?
know. Yeah, I
No,
know.
why is that so important to you guys? And what we're talking, let's talk about this piece for a minute. Let's, as believers of something, whatever it is you all ascribe to, some of us is Jesus, God, universe, source, light, Allah, Buddha, whatever. If you believe in something greater than yourself, let's talk about the compassion piece. Why is it you feel that it's important we try to help people that are so far across the planet? It doesn't make sense because a lot of people say, we got hungry people right here. So, my question is this: is it any easier or harder for you guys? This is open to you too, Steve. What do you say when people say, why are you helping people in South Africa, Dewey and Rain, when we've got people that are hungry right here? Steve, same question to you.
Mhm.
How do you deal with a big piece of the pie globally? A lot of people
Well,
feel that their little piece won't make a difference. True or false?
Devi, I'll let you go ahead and then I'll share my thoughts on it.
Okay. It's hard to like go to other country and helping them first. But the situation there is worse than the what's going on here. Yeah, so that's why we feel like we need to help them as well. Like bringing communities together is our main goal as well.
Yeah. Hey, Dewey and Rain, when you guys are making all of the stuff like we see, all the graphics behind Steve, and you see the little boy with the paint on his face and his smile, but you guys also see all the pictures that don't make it on on the flyer, where the children are not smiling, where they don't look happy. What how do you go to sleep and turn that off? Or do you not turn it off?
Yeah, it becomes constantly in your mind that some of the children there suffer. And it's hard to think about it, but whenever we see the pictures that they are smiling, it also makes us happy.
It makes us happy.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And
Steve, what do you
yeah,
have to say about all this?
yes, yeah. So you brought up 2 points. One with the suffering here, meaning in the U.S. and then abroad. I feel we have more support here locally. Okay, so like for example, on Thursday evenings, like we have a team that goes out and feed the homeless here locally, and you're not going to hear about it. We don't need to toot our horn. We're just silently blessing and doing what we can do locally. But when you look at communities like Pakistan and Philippines, South Africa, right? They don't have the resources or the support or the means, for that matter, to make an impact in the communities. When we can from here help out. So as we're reaching out, because the kingdom is about sharing the love of God and empowering and impacting, and that's what we're doing, is just sharing the love of God in a tangible way. And that's what this is about. It's just really reaching out and helping the ones who can't help themselves.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. One last clip to show today, and then we'll talk it all the way out to the end of the broadcast. This little piece, we'll watch just a little of it, speaks to the state of poverty and hunger. And this is Dewey and Rain. This is just under a year ago in the Philippines. And I wanted to put this piece in. Uh, well, let's watch it and then we'll talk.
Jocelyn Lubibao and her construction worker husband are barely making ends meet while raising their three children. She makes a living giving manicures. When the pandemic hit, she lost her customers while her husband could not go back to work, part of over 7 million people rendered jobless in April last year. Jocelyn gets by sewing cloth rags. She makes 30 pesos per 100 rags, so the goal is to make heaping bundles each time. The monthly aid worth 2,600 pesos from the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program covers most of their needs, but never enough.
Nung bago mag-pandemic, okay naman po, nakakaano na, maraos-raos. Kahit paano. Ito talaga nag-pandemic, talagang hirap sa buhay. Kung nakahain, yun lang.
Nearly 18 million Filipinos were living in poverty as of 2018. Nearly half of the country's poorest live in Mindanao, while a third are in Luzon. A social weather station survey in November 2020 showed about half of Filipino families consider themselves poor. 2 million of them said they became poor only in the last 4 years. Economic Planning Secretary Carl Chua admitted in September 2020 that pandemic-induced lockdowns drove more people into substandard living conditions. This put the government goal of trimming the poverty rate to 14% of all Filipinos from 23.5% 6 years ago in question. Still, he says it's achievable.
You know, one of the things that I think a lot of us leave out of the hunger equation is that there are every day new groups of people entering inside the world of poverty, where just last week or the week before they were not there. So there is an increasing influx of just people, not just indigenous, but people ending up more and more and more underneath the poverty level all around the globe. The pandemic has been a huge factor in that. So let's talk about that, Steve. What are the things I wanted to know? The red flag or red zone needs. What are the things that you're trying to gather right now to start being prepared for what's waiting for you in South Africa when those 10,000 people line up next month on the 14th and 15th with their baskets, their bags, their hearts, their minds, everything open for a little bit of hope along with a little bit of food. What do
Yes.
you need us to do today?
Yeah. Well, today we have to, start purchasing food. I mean, it's our heart's desire that we could feed all 10,000. It's an overwhelming number, to feed, and we've already calculated what it'll cost to feed 10,000 people. But we're
What
going
is
to make
that number?
300,000.
$300,000
Yep, we already
American
ran
dollars.
American dollars. Yep, it's a 1 point something million in rands, which is their money, and so we're believing for a miracle, right? But we're gonna do what we can and make an impact. We may have to do it in parts. However, it all the Lord works things out for us. But the need are right now, because on the 14th and the 15th, we're all meeting at a community center, and there we're gonna hand out what we have, and then also we want to impart into their spirits and their soul, as to how could we look at long term, how could we address what you're going through, and how could we create sustainable living processes and put things in place for them.
So, Steve, though, what happens? As an event planner all those years, and you know, even the work I do today, I can't help but think I go straight to that place in the line that day or those
Hmm.
days where you look and you see this is the last we have. This is the
Wow. Yeah.
last parcel. And within the line, you still see it stretched all the way as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
How do you plan for when you run out and what you tell the people that are standing there waiting, like, where's mine?
Yeah, well, that's going to be, we're going to have to do some planning. I think, and what I was discussing with Prophet Lovemore is, the amount raised, and then knowing that it's going to, take about 25 to $35 to feed a family, like we did calculate in the Philippines. What's the cost per family is the way I look at it, because we want the families to be blessed. And we've done the calculation. So based on, the amounts we're blessed with, we can do the division and say, okay, we're going to be able to feed 100 families, 200, 1,000, 2,000, based on what comes in. And then because they're registered, we could call the families and say, okay, so many families come. So we don't end up with that situation, because it really would be heartbroken to see that. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. There's a really tear me apart.
Excuse me. So the people, the families that aren't able to be helped that day, do they remain on the list?
Yes.
So as more supplies come,
yes,
you call them and say, "Come on."
Yeah, because this will be correct. This will be ongoing. So, we'll continue fundraising. And then the community that we're meeting in is a larger community, because we know a lot of people are going to show up. And then once after the event, then in the other local community where Prophet Lovemore is, then that's where we will start, in batches as the funds come in, and start divvying up the bags and to those families. But we'll do it in a kind of an orderly manner.
Great. Now, speaking of orderly manner, again, some of the things you might not know if we didn't talk about it. Now, I remember in one of the emails that you were sharing with me with Prophet Lovemore and the people over in South Africa on the ground was what stands out to me when he said, "We've already got the police, we've already got all the people that do all the protecting. Let's talk about that piece. So you're gonna everything that you procure, you need help getting it or keeping it safe, because there are people who are militant. I guess is that the right word? That could just say, "Give us all that food right now." Is that
Yeah.
is that a real threat?
Well, yeah, and then we have some community leaders coming to speak to the people as well, and we want to make sure there's protection, right? We think it's just going out and giving. Remember, not that there's evil in the world, and not everyone's going to want to see good be done to help the people,
Right.
and they're in their mind, look, we need help too, so you run into situation, and we don't. Bottom line is we don't want any unexpected situation. So why not be proactive and protect the ones that we were blessing, and protect the ones that are coming to impart spiritually into the people, and so it's just using wisdom.
Right. Using wisdom. Speaking of wisdom and using it, I'm challenging all of you, myself included, to create a list today. Right now, write down 3 names. I could have said 5. I could have said 10, but I'm trying to make it easy for all of us. 3 names of people that you will commit to reach out to today. Provide the link, which is scrolling along the bottom, onevisiononeheart.org/donate. Send the link and ask them if they could donate $5, $10. If they can push it, 25 is preferable. Why is that such an important number? $25 can feed how many people?
5.
5.
At least 5.
See, you thought 1. How is that enough? Now we said 5. 20. That's $5 per person. $5 per person. How much are you going to spend at Starbucks this week? How much are you going to spend on getting your nails done? Right? Give up one thing, turn that money into blessing, and send it to One Vision, One Heart so they can help feed some families. Steve, where are you on the donation spectrum now? How much have you raised so we know how far we've got to go?
Hmm. Well, we've got a little over 1,000 right now, so we're making a little
A
leeway.
little over 1,000.
Yeah,
$1,000.
one.
Hold on.
So let's do the math.
Let me bring my face in close. 1,000? Come on, people. We got to do better. Okay. There we go. I just wanted them to see my face. Get your list. 3 people. Let's set a goal to bring in at least another 1,000 between today and tomorrow. I'm claiming it. How about you? If you're with me, put I claim it. Put amen. Put I agree. Put something in the comments. It is free, but it is powerful. Speak it into existence. Okay. So Steve, when are you guys actually leaving to head over?
Lord willing, we've got the 12 or the 13 because the event's on the 14th and the 15th. So that's what we have on the calendar right now.
Okay. Okay. So guys, we got time.
Yeah.
I mean, next Monday is just our little goal for this week, but we have all that time and beyond to continue doing this kingdom work. You saw me eating a banana. I was doing that on purpose. If I didn't want the banana, I could have reached for this little turkey stick. If I didn't want that, I could reach for my protein shake. But can you imagine if you were hungry? And I'm not talking about, I could eat. I'm talking about, it's been 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. The people that we're trying to help go days. Children go days with no food. 0. Could you do it? You would if you had to. Before we get out of here, Dewey and Rain, I'm going to let you guys speak to the audience because you've been there. You've actually touched these people and been touched by them. I want you to tell people why you're here and why you think it's so important that they help by donating.
It's it's a privilege to have this opportunity to be able to help the people here in the Philippines, and I mean, a little amount goes a long way for them, like feeding the whole family, and it's heartbreaking to see these children go hungry and without supply of electricity and water because it's hard to get that resources there. So just being able to help them uh, to eat for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that, just to help people have what they need for a couple days,
Yeah.
really is gratifying, right?
Yeah, it is.
I agree. A little goes a long way. Nothing goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of something is always greater than a whole bunch of nothing. So share it out. Make your donation. $5, $1. It is the mindset. It is the spirit in which you give, which will help move this movement even further down the road. Trust me, never underestimate the power of the heart and what is behind, what is your motive behind it. It will help get this goal raised. Trust me. And Steve, what's your final thought today?
Yeah, my final thought is this. You see the happy face behind me, and I like to look at, what to expect. We know that there's suffering, we know that there's a need, but Dewey said it the best is watching their faces, the little kids' faces and the parents' faces when they showed up in those villages to bless them with the food. And these are the faces we want to see, the happy faces, not the sad faces, not the pictures that we normally see, about different countries, Africa, which are sad, right? And it tugs at the heart. Don't get me, it's real. But what we want to see is the happy faces. We want to see, when they are the recipient and they're blessed that we brought a smile on their face. We took that sad, look on their face and turn it into a smile so they could just brighten themselves and light their soul up and, know that someone cares, know that God exists and
Yes.
someone's thinking about them.
Exactly.
They're not the forgotten.
Each one of us has been in that boat at one point or another in our lives. Let's just be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Take how you were feeling, take how you may be feeling right now, and multiply it to infinity. Because I feel like this, you guys. We have to do better. These kids are our future. Don't think just because you're not going to be around 100 years from now that it doesn't matter, because it does. Listen, we're going to be back tomorrow for day 3 of our One Vision, One Heart fundraiser. But in the meantime, don't forget, 3 people, please, 3 people, pass it along, make a request. Don't just send the link with nothing. Don't send it dry. Send it with a plea. I want you to think about this. All of you out there that know children, have been a parent, you are a parent, or one day you hope to be a parent. I want you to think about what it would feel like if you had to look into the eyes of your child and explain why there's nothing to eat. Go to sleep with that tonight. You just might wake up a stronger person. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris. I want to thank all of you for joining me today and every day right here on Bathrobe Moments. Today, as you fulfill this commitment to reach out to 3 people, know this: when we are doing what we are doing today, tomorrow, and every day in helping people we will never most likely ever meet, we are helping to eradicate human sacrifice. Human sacrifice isn't just hanging someone on a cross. Human sacrifice is closing our eyes, our minds, and our hearts to the need of others. Take that with you and join me tomorrow morning, God willing. I'll meet you right out front, as we do every day, Monday through Friday, for another illuminated conversation, another chance to fulfill the greatest promise of where 2 or more come together, spiritual magic will happen, and just another chance to be together. Won't you join me? Get out there today and be that blessing you'd like to receive. God bless you all. Thank you, Dewey. Thank you, Rain. Thank you, Steve. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow. Get out there and be your best. God bless you.
God bless.
God bless.